Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Retro Gamers Podcast, episode number 386. Larry here, and as you can see, for those watching and for those who tuned in last week, Anthony's not with me this week. He's going to be in and out the next couple weeks. But I have a wonderful, not even a substitution, someone I've been wanting to get on the podcast for a while. I love his social media. We've been talking a lot. Justin, ThunderDome Gaming Society. Sir, how are you? Welcome to the Retro Gamers Podcast.
I'm good. I'm glad to be here. And it's an honor.
Oh, thank you. My heart beats. No, thank you very much. It's awesome to have you on the show. Before we get into kind of the nuts and bolts of everything here, let's introduce you to our listening and viewing audience. We started talking just actually from this podcast, but then watching your social media and stuff that you do on YouTube, your thoughts on games today, we're pretty similar, I think, on that. But let the world know who you are, where you're at. Definitely plug away, my friend.
All right. So you can either call me Lunchbox, a.k.a. the Disgruntled Gamer. And, I started my YouTube channel, it was probably about a year or so ago. And what I like to do is I like to highlight the indie games because there are so many games coming out. And the indie games, they get buried under everything. So I started doing reviews on a few in my backlog, and then I got a little bit of traction, and then a few indie developers reached out to me and said, hey, would you like to play our game and throw a review up? I'm like, absolutely. And then it just went to X, the app formerly known as Twitter, and started a Facebook page. And on my Facebook page, I'll throw up movie trailers, any other kind of news or anything else like that. And it's just going. And then you know for a fact that on X, I just fired up on all these so-called influencers and content creators.
I mean, again, we are very much on the same wavelength with that. I don't consider myself content creator. God help me if anyone was to ever call me an influencer. That happened one time, and I corrected them. I'm a guy with a podcast. Well, I have a podcast with a friend of mine, but we should not be looked up to by children. I'm just saying it's weird, but watching you get at some of these people on X, again, I get a kick out of it, especially because my biggest gripe is people calling themselves gamers.
Yeah.
Who only play one game.
Yeah.
That never made sense to me.
Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, okay, so since we're doing Xbox tonight, every bit of negative that goes, oh, I'm selling my Series X. I'm selling my Series X. Like, listen, man, this is the fourth time you've said this. Haven't you sold it already? Like, oh man, it's wild, and you know exactly what they're doing because on X, you got the little blue check mark. So all they're doing, yep, they're farming.
Pay for it, yep.
That's all they're doing. And, I have a few buddies on there as well that says, listen, they have to get millions and millions of engagement per month, and it's not even worth it. It's not even worth the stress. And I'm just like, yeah, I kind of figured that.
Negativity is what gets people going. That's why, when me and Anthony, definitely showing the positive of games. When I was doing my wrestling podcast, because every wrestling podcast out there is I don't know why people even watch wrestling who have a wrestling podcast, because all they do is complain about the product. Doesn't matter who it is, WWE, AEW, whoever. And I remember when I had my podcast, which hopefully one day will come back, I purposely made it a point to not find the negative in it, to have fun watching it. Yeah, maybe not everything's going to be perfect. And that's the same with gaming.
Yeah.
Not everything's going to be perfect.
No.
You know, as much as you have the original OG Legend of Zelda, you're going to have Breath of the Wild every now and again. It's going to happen. So, but it's good to have someone like you out there who is somewhat policing the internet, because I've done that once before and I've got myself in a lot of trouble. So at least the way you do it is a whole lot better than the way I've done it.
Yeah, I have to catch myself sometimes. I'm like, what is going on?
Oh boy. But
just a passionate gamer. That's it. That's all I am.
That's what we are. Passionate gamers, because we play different games. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of everything, I do want to point out one. I don't know if me and Aunt mentioned it last week. We probably did it after we were done recording. But like the next couple of weeks, there's a lot of anniversaries of game systems. We just had Genesis 35th North American version last week. In a couple weeks, we're going to have the 25th anniversary of the Dreamcast.
Oh, yes.
Right? Yeah, $99.99 North American. But right now, at the end, actually when this drops maybe, but definitely the end of August, is the 35th anniversary of the North American TurboGrafx 16 release.
Nice.
And did you have a TurboGrafx growing up?
No, I did.
Did you know somebody who had one?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Everybody knows one.
Yep.
It's insane. I didn't have one growing up. I know Anthony did not have one growing up. Anthony knew before me and Aunt met each other, because we met in high school. So before that, I know Anthony's talked about he knew a friend of his who had the TurboGrafx. I had a friend of mine who lived around the corner. He had a TurboGrafx. I just find it hysterical. I don't think I've ever actually met someone proper who had originally a TurboGrafx.
Did your friend have the Splatterhouse game?
Did he have Splatterhouse? I think he did. He had Splatterhouse. I'm pretty sure he had Bonk. That was a standard.
Yeah.
Not a lot of shoot 'em ups. As much as I'm such a fan of a shoot 'em up, I don't remember him having any.
Yeah, I went over to a sleepover, and he had the TurboGrafx 16, and he was like, "Check this game out, Splatterhouse." I'm like, "Ooh," and as he turned it on, I'm like, "This looks like Friday the 13th."
Yeah, right. On steroids.
It was so gory, and I'm like, I was just mesmerized. I just wanted to play that.
No, it's the system. He had I remember my friend had, because I'm not into. What was that?
Keith Courage, probably. I think that.
No. He had a game. I think it was Moto Rotor. I think it's called. It was almost like an RPG racer. I think it was Moto Rotor. Don't quote me on that. There's a listener out there, the Unfun Gamer, who will always correct me. So he will.
It's this.
But it was weird. It was like an RPG Formula One game. So.
Yeah, I think I have heard of that.
Yeah. But for me personally, first, my love of shoot 'em ups, how this system got past me is beyond me.
Yeah. There was a lot of shoot 'em ups released for it, and a lot of them didn't come over to North America. So
maybe that's why
they all stayed overseas.
Yeah.
And I would like to get one, but man, those prices.
It's one thing to get the system, even if you go for, which I think are still available right now, the Duo, the analog Duos. Right now, probably they're one system that hasn't sold out in a moment's notice. But I picked one up. I pre-ordered one because I've never had a TurboGrafx, but I wanted one. So I got the system. System itself is fine. It's like $200 and something. That's doable for a Duo that's brand new. But you're right. The games are wicked to find at a reasonable price.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's kind of, I guess that's almost the fun of collecting as well on our level. I mean, I don't, and forgive me, I'm not trying to put a a stamp on like where we're at. You know, look, some people can afford to do amazing collections. You know, some people can't, and you know, people in the middle. I find myself in the middle, and again, I'm not prying.
It's all about the thrill of the hunt.
Exactly, that's what it's about. You can so easily go to eBay nowadays
Mm-hmm.
and pick the game up. Whereas a couple months ago, when I was looking for roller games on NES, I could have easily went to eBay, but no, I searched and searched and searched, and did I buy it on eBay? No, I found it. I found it in a store. So, so you know, search complete. But for TurboGrafx, good God, just trying to find reasonably priced games. But those, a lot of them are happening on eBay. I have no choice.
Yeah.
What I find as well with the TurboGrafx, and it's probably the first time I've noticed this, where it is a lot cheaper to collect the Japanese version of the games than the North American.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot with that particular system, because I don't know what it is. The Who cards or whatever, just like I've heard it pronounced several different ways too.
I say Hugh. I don't know. I also say Ryu instead of Ryu, so I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard Hugh card, and then I also heard a Who card. I'm like,
Who card.
Right? So, yeah.
Robin, I invented TurboGrafx. So what games did you enjoy when you were at your friend's house besides Splatterhouse? Do you remember?
I know we played Keith Courage in Alpha Zone, Splatterhouse, one of the Bonks.
You had to. I think it was a pack-in game, probably.
And I think that was it, actually.
Okay.
No, as well. So
which one?
Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
So, like, if whoever's in his room playing on the Turbo, they were always playing Splat, and then everybody else was in the living room playing Final Fight. So
nice.
Yeah.
2 amazing games, no matter what.
Yes.
So so with the TurboGrafx, as far as memories, like, you know, it's tough to discuss the memories part, only because we don't have that much memories growing up of the TurboGrafx. But nevertheless, it's an awesome system. Some of the games did come out on Genesis, on NES. Bonk. I remember when Bonk hit the NES. I thought that was wild. I never thought I'd see that happen.
That was weird.
Yeah. But nowadays, being able to collect, and like I said, the Japanese version of the games being way less expensive than the North American versions. So I've been really leaning towards that route. But nevertheless, TurboGrafx 16, 35th anniversary. So happy birthday.
It's not bad. And I saw you got that Batman game.
Right. So that Batman game was more the PC engine. Because remember, TurboGrafx North America. All right. In the meantime, my ring light is literally dying on me as we speak. So that is not cool. So let me take that off. I'm like, why is this getting darker and darker? So there goes that. That's what you get for buying $10 on Amazon. Batman for the PC engine. Oh my God, that game. You know, it kind of did we live stream it? I don't remember if I live streamed it or recorded it. I might have recorded it once for the YouTube. Might have. But it has like a top-down view like Bomberman, but it doesn't play like Bomberman. You go around and collect stuff. But oh my God, the graphics are gorgeous. So much fun to play. Very much 89 Batman. To the point where I'm pretty sure the music in there was some of the music as well, if I remember correctly. It's been a little while since I played it. But yeah, if you can get your hands on it, I suggest that.
Yeah, maybe I have to emulate it.
Nothing wrong with that nowadays. For the old games, for the old systems. If you're not making money off of it, go for it. So, very, very cool. So yeah, happy birthday, TurboGrafx, for the 4 of you out there who actually had one back in the day originally.
Right.
Oh, well. With that being said, though, let's get into this. Really the reason why I brought you on, sir. And I see that you got a theme going on behind you, because the color of the system that we're going to be talking about, you are just drenched with right now behind you. Your chroma key that you were going to superimpose later. The Xbox, Microsoft's Xbox.
Yeah.
Both original and 360. We're going to discuss. And again,
that was wild.
What?
when it released in 2001.
Oh, I remember hearing about, so we got Sony, we got Nintendo, right? So those are the two juggernauts at the time. And it looked like some people tried to dip their toe in, just didn't work out. They didn't last long. But then finally, Bill Gates is like, you know what? We're going to make a system. Microsoft is going to step into the game, literally. And I didn't think anything of it because when I hear Microsoft back then, when I heard Microsoft, I immediately thought Windows and computer gaming.
Yeah.
I did not do computer gaming growing up. I still am not really a computer gamer at all.
Whenever I heard it, I was like, so Windows and Flight Simulator. So
yeah, basically, that was it. But then here comes this system, the Xbox.
Oh man,
it's just an odd name too, Xbox. Like, okay, is it going to be shaped like all of us picturing this big giant X? So I think that might have been one of the prototypes as well, like a big giant X.
So that was that shape. So that was
yeah, that would have been. I would have still bought that. Oh. But then the system drops, and lo and behold, holy hell! This thing was a juggernaut. This game.
It was. I enjoyed it. I was like, I have to have one. So.
Do you remember getting the Xbox? Like, what are your earliest memories of the Xbox?
So the reason why I got one, so it was 2001. I'm already out of high school, I'm a grade nerd, so I've been out for a while. But so the week it launched, I didn't think nothing of it. I was working my job, of course, and I had a day off. And my buddy calls me up, TJ. He goes, "Hey, you got to come over right now." I was like, "What's up?" He goes, "Halo." I was like, "Okay, what is that?" He's like, "Just come over." And we've been doing this for years. Like, I'll call him up, be like, "Listen, I got this game. I'm coming over. You got to try it right now." He'd do the same thing. So I went over there and went up to his room, and he goes, "You ready?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So he throws me the biggest controller I've ever seen.
The Duke.
The Duke. Holy crap. What is this? He's like, "That's the Duke, brother. Let's do it." I'm like, "Okay." Fires up Halo, and that was it. That was it. We started playing the campaign. I want to say that was probably like the afternoon, and we played well into the night. And he's like, "Hey, don't you have to work tomorrow?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm calling in sick." So
like a Madden Monday or something.
Right. So we continued playing until like we passed out or whatever. We even dipped our hands into the multiplayer mode, and like, of course, I fell asleep. Then I went home in the morning, and I was like, I want to play Halo.
I got the taste. You remember the first taste is free. You got to pay for the rest of it.
So I looked at my bank account. I'm like, let's do this. So I drove over to Best Buy, and I was like, you know what? I've never bought a TV, so I'm buying a TV as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought a brand new TV. It was 2001, so I bought one of the Sony Trinitron, the big suckers.
Yes.
And Xbox. I bought Halo and I think Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2X was the other one I bought.
Okay.
And I want to say third game, but all I played for like weeks was Halo.
Yeah, Halo definitely was the selling point of the system for the longest time.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. And then he was like, "Hey," he's like, "Everybody's coming over, so bring your Xbox and your controllers." I was like, he goes, "Yeah." I was like, "I only have the one controller." He's like, go get 3 more.
Okay.
I was like, okay. So that was like my first LAN experience too.
See, I never did a LAN party with an Xbox.
That was like a weekend thing for a good while. For a good while. It was a blast.
I would like to think because we're basically the same age. It sounds like you're a year older than me, but we're the same age. So in other words, the Xbox came out after I graduated, 2001. Oh no, actually, I graduated in 2002. So did I have an Xbox in college? No, I didn't. I didn't have an Xbox in college. I thought I did.
I graduated in '97.
There you go. High school, I hope.
Yeah.
Okay. Graduated in '98. So yeah, so I'm a year behind you. But in other words, like I feel like if I was like a junior or a sophomore in college when the Xbox came out, it would have been a LAN party every single evening.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, the N64 and the GameCube and the PS2 got me through college. Mostly the N64. But yeah, so I entered the Xbox game, no pun intended, late. It took me a little while. I definitely didn't buy at launch. I waited a little bit. I'm pretty sure Anthony got the Xbox first, from what I remember, because then I would have went to his house to play games. He probably had Halo, but knowing him, he's not a fan of first-person shooters. Yeah. So I'm sure either he would not have owned it, or he didn't play a lot of it. So I didn't experience Halo too much. Yeah. When I first got the system, I'm pretty sure Halo was neither included, or I bought that right away. I can't remember my first games exactly with the Xbox, but I do remember being quite shocked at the graphics. Like, oh my, like, to me, that was next level after the GameCube.
Yeah.
And the PS2.
Well, not only that, I mean, since it had, I want to say it had like an 8 gig internal memory, you could also rip your CD.
Yes.
Then you could play your own music in certain games, like several races. Woo!
You're right. And I'm pretty sure we would. Yes, that's right. Because then Anthony ended up getting, as did I, but would get Raw. We got Raw and Raw 2 for Xbox.
That was a good one. And I did wrestling games.
Okay.
But one of my friends got that, and I was like, oh, man, this is awesome.
Not bad. I forgot which. I don't think Raw did. I think Raw 2, you were able to rip your music, like you said, to the console and then use it as music, entrance music for a created character. And when that happened, that like blew my mind for the first time. Because I was like, whoa, now we're like, now we're stepping into the new generation. Having that internal hard drive, trying to think, I believe it would have been the first system of the major consoles to have an internal hard drive like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So, like not having memory cards to store the game saves, that kind of felt convenient until you wanted to bring stuff to a friend's house. Then you did have to get the those weird looking memory cards.
Weird.
Yeah. 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 And then but as far as some of the games are concerned with the Xbox, because the thing was a load. I mean, it was heavy, the original Xbox. I'm trying to see if I can find how much it actually weighed, because it was a heavy system.
Probably close to 8-10 pounds.
Maybe. It doesn't say. Unfortunately, it's not one of the things here. But you were right. Storage was 8 or 10 gigabyte internal hard drive. So I guess depending on which one you got or which one came with. It was a DVD player, but it was very specific that you had to have the DVD controller and to have the piece plugged into the system in order for it to play DVDs, because the law was, I don't know if it still is, but the law was, in order for something to play a DVD, it had to have the DVD logo on it. And that's, I guess, how they got around it. It was very weird. I never understood why it wouldn't play out of the box DVDs. That was always interesting. Well, I do know why. Money. Get more people to buy that controller or that remote. So, like I said, so never got to play a LAN party, but Halo, and a friend of the show who's been on before, Lovable Halo Addiction, go check him out on social media, is all about Halo. And I remember the Xbox, for me, was one of the first times I experienced e-gaming or Major League Gaming or whatever you want to call professional gaming with the Halo 2 tournaments.
Halo 2. Man, see, that's what back during the Xbox days, the marketing that Microsoft did was insane because, you know, they didn't know how well Halo was going to do. So they just threw it out there. And what they started was insane. And then marketing up to Halo 2, whoo.
Halo 2 was definitive. It had to be.
Yeah.
To the point where 10 years after, maybe even longer than that, I was still watching on TV Halo 2 professional Halo 2 tournaments.
Yeah.
Years later. In fact, so I was, grew up in Brooklyn, born and raised in Brooklyn, out here on Long Island. And I remember when the cable channels started going HD.
Okay.
And Cablevision, like the regular channels didn't go HD yet. They brought in like specific like HD channels, like HD comedy, HD horror, HD something. Like it wasn't Fox or ABC or anything.
Yeah.
But one of them was gaming. And I remember this channel. It wasn't G4. I'm not talking G4. It was just gaming. Yeah. I don't know if we had Optimum in the area, so I don't know if other cable providers did this. But what I remember was two things I remember. One, I remember there was a show. I don't remember the title of the show, but it would take a game. It was basically a playthrough, but they made it like they cut it up in a way that it looked like a movie. Even though it was gameplay and the cutscenes of a particular game, whatever it might be, but it played out like a movie. And I enjoyed watching that. I think like Hitman was one of them. There was another game they did.
I know for Halo it was red versus blue.
Well, those were custom. Yeah, that was like something custom. What I'm saying with this was like literally like it'd be like they'd play out level 1, and you can tell they edited it like if they died or something.
Yeah.
They edit up, and then like they'd show the cutscenes, and then would move on. So not like it wasn't custom like that. It was like a playthrough.
Yeah.
But the other thing I remember and I watched all the time were Halo 2 tournaments, and they were with play-by-play. And it wasn't. I don't know if there was like a professional league to it or something. But again, it's Halo 2. It's Xbox. It's drilled in my memory of this game being basically the first, before Fortnite, obviously, before PUBG and any of these other wacky games that are out there. It was all about Halo 2.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was just crazy, especially like. I still remember going to the midnight launch for Halo 2. It was crazy.
I've never done a midnight launch. That's a lie. I did once.
What?
I did. I just never. Yeah. Well, also I grew up in Brooklyn, so you really don't be caught dead in midnight in some places out here.
But the wildest one though was Halo 3. That was like peak Halo, and it was absolutely nuts. It's crazy. I got back with Halo 2 and I was like, what's this Xbox Live stuff?
So that's the next iteration. So now Xbox is like one of the first, if not, I mean, PS2 did it, but not to the extent of Xbox being really the first one to have this online service like this.
Yeah.
And I remember signing up for Xbox Live, not as much a marketplace as just being able to go online, multiplayer, probably download some DLC of some sort. Do you have any vivid memories of like going online with Xbox?
Oh yeah, definitely Halo 2. I did that. So when Halo 2 came out, I think it was later on in the year, like October, maybe September or something like that. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get Xbox Live. And then I was leaving in January for my first deployment to Iraq. And I was like, I'm getting in all the gaming time. And I think this was the time when Knights of the Old Republic 1 came out.
KOTOR.
I think they had some DLC that you can only get off of Xbox Live as well. And I remember that was one of the other games I was playing.
No, yeah, Knights. I'll get into that, but I do want to mention it. And thank you very much for your service right now. So definitely. What was that?
I'd do it all over again too.
Yeah, I like that. All right. If I may ask, what branch?
Army.
My father's Air Force, but we'll go Army. All right. And it hurts him every time I say I would have went into Space Force, but that's another story for another time. So all right. So Halo 2 becoming a training facility, if you will, for our bravest and finest and strongest.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, it was a weekend thing, man. We just beer, Halo 2. It was nuts. It was a time. Oh, and that was when right out of basic, went up to Fort Stewart, Georgia, and this was 2004. So I've had my Xbox for a while, and there was a game coming out, and I was like, man, if I see this, I have to see the box, and then I might just buy it.
Okay.
And it would have been the most expensive game I've ever bought. And I'm up there after basic looking for an apartment, and I go to this, I think it was like FYE or FYE.
Oh, FYE. Yeah, FYE, yeah.
Yeah, music store. And they had a stack of them. And I was like, I think they were $2.99. I'm like, I gotta buy it. Steel Battalion, baby.
Oh my God. Okay, yes.
I bought it. Still have it.
Do you really? Controller
Yeah.
included?
I still have it in the box and everything.
I've never been able to play Steel Battalion.
It was so wicked. I would bust that out, and like all my buddies from my platoon, they'd be like, "This is the controller?" I'm like, "Yes, let's do this." And I wouldn't tell them. I was like, "Hey, you have to eject before you blow up." I wouldn't tell them that, and they're like, "What do you mean my characters are deleted?" Yeah, you didn't eject.
That's right. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. I'll put up on the video portion the massive controller.
Oh, in the box it came in, it was so gnarly because it looked like an ammo can.
It did, yes. I remember that.
It was I'll have to send you pictures. I need to dig it out of storage.
Okay.
So yeah.
So you do a live stream of that.
Well, see, here's what's crazy is there's Xbox Live for the OG is back, but it's like
how?
It's like on its own separate servers. I think it's called Insignia. I haven't even looked at it yet.
Okay.
But yeah, there's people that go on for certain days, and I see it posted every Halo 2 this date on this weekend online. Let's go. And then there's a whole Steel Battalion community, and I'm like,
really? All right, I gotta find that.
Yeah, I think I want to say I saw the word it's like Insignia servers or something like that. I never looked into it because I'm already so busy as it is.
Oh, here we go. Insignia Xbox.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Insignia is a server that aims to restore the functionality of Xbox Live for the original Xbox. I'm getting this off of Wikipedia.
Mm-hmm.
Insignia was created via reverse engineering and is currently in open beta. Insignia was released as an open beta in November of 22. It has over 17,000 users registered as of August of 24.
Nice.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And it will work on both unmodified and modified consoles. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I'm about to check this out, especially because recently at the Retro Gaming Expo, I ended up picking up the Eon Xbox HDMI adapter.
Yeah. Nice.
And what's awesome about this adapter, if you might be able to see there, the adapter also has first of all has two HDMI ports, but it has basically you can make a LAN party out of the one adapter. There's 3 Ethernet ports.
I'm about to look into that.
Oh, this thing I think is well worth it. I got not only just because it looks gorgeous on the TV. I got an Eon for the GameCube,
Mm.
and I picked up the Eon for the Xbox, the original Xbox. And again, it looks gorgeous. But if you're still doing LAN parties, again, all you need are just the Xboxes and the televisions.
Yeah.
Because again, you just LAN party through this piece that already has 3 Ethernet ports in the back.
Wow.
Yes, they geniuses.
Yeah.
But this Insignia, I'm going to look into this when we're done. This looks very interesting.
Right. Every time I read about it, I'm like, okay, when I get home, I'm going to look it up now.
So what? Let's get right now. I have friends. I have a lot of friends who I signify, like my buddy Mario. He's the Master System guy.
Okay.
I got my buddy Level Halo Addiction, all about Halo. You are my Xbox. You are my Xbox guy. So let me ask you this.
Okay.
What are some of your favorite Xbox games? Not in any particular order, just favorite games.
So favorite games. Onimusha Warlords. It started off PlayStation 2, and I remember playing the first two, but then there was another one that came out on the Xbox called Genma Onimusha, and it added stuff to it, and it had a harder difficulty level as well to it. Played that, and I played through that like crazy. There's nobody talks about this game. It's called Gun Valkyrie.
What was it called?
Gun Valkyrie.
Why does that sound familiar?
It's a Sega game, and it's pretty good. It's kind of has like you can pick between 2 different characters, and they play differently.
Mm-hmm.
And
look at this
Space Harrier feel to the game, but it's a 360 degree. So
really,
yeah. And then so there hasn't really been a whole lot of Justice League games. There's one called Justice League Heroes, and the Xbox version was awesome. It plays like Marvel's Ultimate Alliance. Those games.
Ooh, okay.
So yeah, if you're into those type of games, then
I remember this game. I didn't have it, but I remember it.
Yeah, and then of course I remember playing the Punisher on it.
Did you ever play Buffy?
Yes.
How good is Buffy? The first Buffy on Xbox.
See, there's 2 different ones though. There's I think it was just the regular Buffy.
Well, there were 2 Buffy games. There was Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
Which was exclusive to Xbox. Good luck finding that one. Yeah. And then there was the sequel. I think it was called Chaos Bleeds. That was available on everything.
Yeah, it was something weird.
But that first one, and I wasn't a Buffy fan. Like, I didn't watch Buffy. My friends, Anthony watched Buffy, and all my friends watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I watched the musical episode. I got a kick out of that one. But when the game came out, I remember Anthony got it. And I went over, I played, I'm like, I'll give it a shot, I'll play it. And I fell in love with that game hard. Yeah. Probably because of Buffy, even though it wasn't Sarah Michelle Gellar. But, but what?
I watched the show.
I know. I watched like maybe the first couple of episodes. I'm like, all right, I'm out. But again, like all my friends watched it. I don't know how I didn't get sucked into it. But then the musical episode happened. I'm like, all right, this works. But again, that was the only episode I watched. Probably the only episode I own of Buffy.
Right. Yeah, they also released like all the old Midway treasures.
Yes. The Atari anthology and television.
That there was the Taito Legend.
Yes. Which was it my Taito collection or was it my Capcom collection? That was the first cartridge, my first CD to suffer disc rot.
Collection was so good.
Which one?
The Capcom collection.
Capcom collection was amazing.
Every time one of those came out, I'm like, I remember.
I bought all of them.
Well, yeah, you had to.
Bought all of them.
Had to.
You know, because that was, I mean, basically, like it was the arcade archive of today,
Yeah.
just on a single disc, with all the amazing games. And I remember, yeah, the title collection I really enjoyed, but the Capcom ones, holy Hannah, those I
Yes.
got such a kick out of.
Those were so good. And then they did a Street Fighter collection.
I had that one on the PS2, the
Yeah.
Street Fighter Anniversary Edition,
Yeah.
because I don't know if it came out on the Xbox, this version, but the PS2 version of that collection came with Street Fighter 2, the animated movie.
Oh,
It came, I'm pretty sure it was a bonus disc. I don't think it was. It might have been on the same disc.
nice.
No, I think about it. Might have been. And that movie's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
It might have been the censored version too. I think it was. I ended up seeing the uncensored version years later.
And chalk up that. So I didn't really play PC games that much growing up, except of course everybody's played Doom, of course.
Of course, yeah.
And, Fallout, Brotherhood of Steel. I always heard good about Fallout. I'm like, okay, I'll try this one, and it got knocked down because it wasn't the traditional Fallout games. It looked like more like a Fallout hybrid of Diablo, that style of game, and I loved it. I played it. It was fun.
I found myself like a weird collection. Actually, you know what? While we're talking, I'm such an idiot. Why do I not pull up my collection of Xbox games? You have a wonderful collection of Xbox games. How many Xbox games would you say you have?
Probably over 100 or probably 200.
I don't think I've had that many even at the height of owning the system.
Yeah. The what's really crazy too is because PlayStation had its greatest hits, so Xbox had its platinum hits.
Yes.
And then what a lot of people don't realize is that they have the best of platinum hits, and what that is on above where it says platinum on the front. Say best of up above it in red.
Oh, red. Okay, I was thinking of something else then.
I think there's only like 3 or 4 of those, and those are hard to find.
Really? I never even heard of those.
Right? I think I have. Oh, I think Fable. I think I have a copy of Fable that's the best of.
Oh, look at this! I just pulled up an example. It's Halo. You're right. It's red. Best of platinum hits. It looks like the regular platinum hits game, but just says in red best of platinum, and that's interesting. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that's like, what? I've never.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm showing Halo, Project Gotham Racing 2.
Yeah.
And I'm just doing a simple search. There's no list. I'm just looking through here. Nope, that's Game of the Year edition. That don't count. Well, it was okay. So I got to mention this one though. Talking about oh no, that's more 360. Well, I don't want to. I mean, 360 is awesome, but I'm really enjoying talking about the original Xbox. What I was looking at was Left 4 Dead, which is an amazing 360 game.
Oh yeah.
So for me, real quick before I forget, I had such a more of a weirder. When I say weirder collection, like I had like 2 or 3 different poker games. Remember when poker all of a sudden became like the thing to do?
Yeah, remember that? Yeah.
And I've never played a day in my life. But even now, I have Bicycle Casino, including Texas Hold'em. And I'm pretty sure High Rollers Casino.
I have one of those, but I don't know which one it is, but I know Vince McMahon is on the front cover of one of them.
What?
Yeah.
Like, for real, or just a guy who looks like him?
I'm pretty sure that's him.
I'll have to look that one up later.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm about to pick this up. And it was sealed. I was like, okay.
To me, the single best football game ever to be released for a home console is on the Xbox, and it is not a Madden game.
Oh, it's what is it? The NFL 2K.
What year? Oh, it's well, it can't be 2K. It's before this one came out. 2K5.
Yeah.
ESPN NFL 2K, which was like a year before the NFL signed the deal with Madden, where it went exclusive. Oh my gosh, 2K5, the definitive football game of all football games.
There's another one that was put out by Microsoft Game Studios. I think it was NFL Fever, I think.
Oh, was it like a almost like Blitz kind of sort of?
I think so.
I think I remember that.
But I always saw it everywhere. And I'm like, eh.
Some other games that I got for the Xbox, which is more kind of the weirder ones. Do you remember the Guy game?
Yes. Yes. I don't.
You don't have the Guy game?
No. But I have. I think I'm missing that. I'm missing that one and Teen Titans for the heavy hitters. Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't call the Guy game a heavy hitter, but I know why you're calling it a heavy hitter because of how hard it is to find. But when I bought the game, I bought the game for all the wrong reasons. But when I bought the Guy game, which if you don't know what the Guy game is, it's a trivia game. Yeah. But the more questions you get right, all the girls they interviewed on the beach during spring break, it turns into Girls Gone Wild. Yeah. And that's why I bought the game. But I didn't realize there's no codes whatsoever in the game to get to like a cutscene or to jump past questions.
Yeah.
Basically, the only code is go online, find the answers, and then just because the questions don't change the order. It's the same questions in the same order. So you play through it 3 times, you're good to go.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. It's almost like BMX XXX. At least that one had a code, though.
Yeah.
And that I purposely bought on the GameCube because I'm like, oh, I have an M-rated game on the GameCube. But I had Simpsons Hit and Run, Simpsons Road Rage I had on there. You mentioned before, Knights of the Old Republic. Oh, my God. Love that game.
Yep. 1 and 2.
And again, Buffy was one of my other favorites. And the wrestling games, like I said, Raw and Raw 2, home runs.
Oh, man. Now I don't remember another game. There's one. It had a re-release here a while back. It was called Rogue Trooper. You can recognize it real easily because it has the guy you play as. He's got blue skin and he looks like Ando. But it came out for the regular Xbox.
What was it called?
Rogue Trooper.
Rogue Trooper.
Yeah. And what was the name of that studio? The name of that studio, I can't remember who it was. But what they did is they bought the licenses 2000 AD. So that gave them the license to Judge Dredd, Rogue Trooper, and one of the other ones, but they never made a game.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've never heard of this game.
Oh, it's pretty good.
I don't remember hearing about the re-release, the remaster, which I see here.
Yeah.
Okay, this actually does look pretty good. I might have to give that a shot.
It's a pretty good game.
Before we wrap up this with the Xbox, I will be remiss to mention, did you play or do you own any of the Burger King games?
I own all 3.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Which one's your favorite?
Pocket Bike Racer.
Oh, okay.
But Sneak King is a close.
How creepy. Honestly.
Great. I love it. And I love those 3 games because you can play them on the original Xbox or on the 360 and get the achievements. Whoever came up with that is like
marketing geniuses to put out. You don't see McDonald's. I mean, McDonald's had games back in the day, but they weren't giving them out in Happy Meals.
No.
Oh, Burger King. Sneak King. Forget about it. I think I still own Sneak King. I think I still have that.
Sneak King?
What happened?
You need a copy of Sneak King?
No. I think I do have a copy of Sneak King. Yeah, that was my favorite one of the 3. So
so you had Sneak King, Pocket Bike Racer, and then Big Bumpin'.
Yes.
That
really. There I am with my quad cheeseburgers that they were selling for a while with the 4 patties. Just scarfing those down. Explains why I was the weight I was at the beginning of the year. And here I am playing Burger King games while eating Burger King. So you know what? Marketing success.
Oh, absolutely.
So with that being said, kind of wrap up this segment about the Xbox. Just, again, you are my definitive Xbox aficionado. What are your, just, again, overall thoughts, overall love of the Xbox?
Nobody knew what it was going to do when it busted out onto the scene. And what it did is it left a big impression on the industry, because I mean, they're the first ones to come out with Xbox Live, the gaming service that you pay for, whatever. And I think it was, I mean, there was consoles before it that you can get on the internet, but it was slow, it was dial up. This one was broadband. That's what the difference was. And some of the games today are like Halo. Halo's still around, but
Nothing like the OG.
it's not. Yeah, those first 3 Halo games, man.
And I will also say this: Xbox is the first system I ever had a friend own that was modded.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I remember he brought it. Actually, we had an apartment together. We had this one apartment in Brooklyn that a bunch of us just cycled through at times.
Yeah.
And I was one of the last ones in there. And I remember he broke out an Xbox. I'm like, all right, let's play some Xbox. And he booted it up. I'm like, what the hell is this? It was a menu.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, for real. I'm like, what is going on? And then all of a sudden, we're playing DuckTales on the NES on the Xbox. And I couldn't comprehend what was going on. Admittedly, back then, I'm like, me being me, I'm like, oh, this is piracy. I want nothing to do with this. How did you mod the Xbox to do that? But yeah, it was the first system I knew of to be modded like that. And the first one I saw, I should say. That was mod. Nowadays, forget about it. I'm shocked my Apple Watch isn't modded by this point.
Right. Yeah. Some of the modded ones I've seen, they have like little LCD screens on the front, all buttons and everything. I'm like, what is going on?
Let me ask you this. It just dawned on me. Of all, because Xbox also is one of the systems, maybe the only system has like the most special edition consoles.
Oh, okay.
Every time they came up with an idea, they put out an Xbox console. The Switch is getting there. But what is like your favorite special edition Xbox?
Of the OGs?
Yeah, I know I'm putting you on the spot, but
okay, so the OGs, it has to be the Halo one.
That was a nice one.
Yeah, the nice translucent green. It says Halo on it, whatever. I do know so as far as official ones, I do know there's a translucent blue one and a smoke one. I think those were Japan only.
Okay.
Because I can't remember now. I think the blue or smoke translucent ones was Panzer Dragoon Orta edition.
Okay.
Of course, there was the Mountain Dew one.
Oh, I love the Mountain Dew. There was a Mountain Dew Code Red one.
Oh,
I mean, bright red. It looked gorgeous.
So good. I can't drink it now, though.
Listen, there is nothing like a Mountain Dew Code Red. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah. And then, of course, the Incredible Hulk console.
Yeah. Which I think were Mountain Dew leftovers.
Yeah, it kind of it does. Side by side, you're like, this is a weird green. Like, what's going on?
Awesome. All right. So, so the Xbox, again, definitive system. I'm happy, like I said, now that I got this HDMI adapter to start breaking out some old original Xbox games. Again, I've been wanting to play Buffy. I'm going to do this a little out of order. Actually, no, I'm going to hold off on it. We're going to do, because I'm going to give you the honor this week of picking something, but we'll get into that in a moment. That will be played by everybody. But before we move on, folks, remember, if you want to chime in on the conversation, you want to let us know your history of the Xbox, some of your favorite Xbox games, Xbox memories. Did you do a LAN party? Hopefully you did. Check us out everywhere. I'm not going to do this justice like Anthony does, but I'll try it. Check us out on Facebook at Retro Gamers Podcast, on Instagram at Retro Gamers Podcast, on X at Retro Gamers Pod. You can email us, email at the Retro Gamers Podcast, and you can watch us on YouTube and Spotify everywhere you go. Please subscribe, like, share, let everyone know about us. And, of course, absolutely subscribe to ThunderDome Gaming Society, because you will get a kick out of this maniac sometimes on X as to what's going down. But also, he's introduced me, I should say I've learned a lot of new games coming out just from your posts. Like, what was that? Survival Vampire? What the hell is that one called? Vampire. They just came out with the Contra
Oh, Vampire Survivors.
Vampire Survivors. Oh, there's that
Yeah.
thumbs up. Why does everything? Oh, do you see the thumbs up on my screen? That's so weird. Anyway, yeah, Vampire Survivors with the Contra DLC,
Oh, that so addicted.
and on top of that, Contra OG.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But definitely check out ThunderDome Gaming Society. So with that, we're going to get into real quick game of the week. Let's talk about that. It's going to be a quick one because it's a game that just everyone loves. Everyone's talked about it to the heights that it should be recognized. I'm talking about Sonic 2.
Oh yeah.
Anthony picked Sonic 2 as it was the 35th anniversary of the Genesis. And again, we're not going to go into full details like I do with the Xbox, but your history, your memories of playing Sonic 2?
Of Sonic 2 specifically, a little bit, because I only had 2 friends with a Genesis.
Okay.
So it wasn't until later I started playing the Sonic games, and I was there. I liked them, but I was like, listen, you want me to go fast, but why am I hitting stuff? And it's crazy. It's like, do you want me to go fast, or do you want to be a platformer?
So you weren't all about blast processing.
Yeah. Good old blast processing.
I keep going back and forth in my head. I can't remember exactly. I want to say Castlevania Bloodlines is what got me to get a Genesis eventually, but I'm pretty sure when I bought it, it came packed with Sonic 2. So I've had Sonic 2 since day one. Sonic, most of the Sonic games have been amazing. The kind of the love again of Sonic since the movies came out, and I cannot wait for Sonic 3 to drop this Christmas.
Yeah.
Because the first 2 were phenomenal. Thank God the internet got mad. Finally, the internet getting mad did a positive thing.
They're stopping bullying. Look out.
Well, this worked because we got the Sonic we deserved, not the Sonic we almost got.
Right.
But again, there's really just not much to say other than this. This past Thursday, I did try my best to stream The Immortal on NES. I couldn't do it. I tried. I played. I gave it a college try. I died 3 times in that room with all the arrows coming at you.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I gave up.
You're like, listen, I'm done.
I tapped. I tapped out, and then I immediately put on Sonic 2, and I streamed. So I streamed the rest of that live stream. I did, and I had to bootleg the stream, so it was, I had to do it from my phone because I still can't find the equipment that I brought with me to the gaming expo to do live streaming and stuff. It's in one of those boxes. It's somewhere.
Whoa.
I'll find it. But playing Sonic 2, and I got far. I probably got to the 5th level, I think, if I remember correctly. What I didn't realize was this. So Sonic 2 debuted, well, I knew Sonic 2 debuted my Tails, of course. Everyone knows Tails. And when I got Sonic 2 originally, I always used to play as Tails. So you were able to select to play as Sonic or Tails or Sonic with Tails.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I always played as Tails because I always thought it was just cool to play as somebody different other than Sonic. But when I was doing the live stream, I played Sonic with Tails following you, which works in the game. He collects coins. It works out pretty well. Sometimes he'll hit Robotnik, stuff like that.
Yeah.
What I never realized, because I never really tried it until this weekend, was how detrimental it is having Tails with you in the bonus stages.
Oh, yeah.
Holy cow. Because he follows you. Tails follows you.
Yeah.
But he's got a little bit of a delay to him, as he should. I mean, it's programmed into the game.
Yeah.
But when the bombs start coming at you in the bonus levels, and it throws your timing off because you can jump fine with Sonic, but by the time Tails reacts, he gets hit by the bomb and he's losing coins. It's like the only time in the game he'll lose coins is in the bonus levels.
Yeah.
To a point where, and I never do this, I forgot I was streaming. I dropped such an F-bomb when he cost me one of the Chaos Emeralds right at the last second. Like, he dropped 2 coins, I was 1 coin short, and I didn't get the Chaos Emerald in that level. Oh, I was so mad. And man, did I drop that F-bomb.
You're like, what?
Basically.
Yeah.
But Sonic 2 is Sonic 2. Loved it. Loved playing it. I saved it because I was playing it on the Switch. So I'll continue later. But that was this week's game of the week. But I'm giving Justin, ThunderDome Gaming Society, sir, I'm giving you the opportunity to pick this week's game of the week. Please do not make the mistake others have made in the past. Do not suggest the Immortal level gaming. Because I almost would rather play Breath of the Wild than the Immortal. That's how bad the Immortal is.
Right. So I thought about this for a while, and I already mentioned this game. So, Justice League Heroes.
Oh.
So I believe it. I don't think it's that much, anyways.
Okay.
But it's basically Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but it's in the DC universe, and you are the Justice League. That's people don't talk about this game. It's like, I mean, it was good. I enjoyed it. I played it a lot.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't go for too expensive. It's ranging between $10 and $20 on eBay right now.
Oh, that's perfect.
Give or take.
Perfect.
There's a PS2 version as well.
Yep, there's a PS2 version as well.
But we're going to try and shoot for the Xbox one. All right, I might pull the trigger on this. I'm going to see if my buddies over at Game On might have a copy. But if not, I might go with this.
There's so many, man.
So it's hard to choose sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
All right, but we're going to do Justice League Heroes, so very cool. That's this week's Game of the Week. And with that, we're going to start bringing this into port, but the only really piece of news I want to talk about was something that dropped out of nowhere the other day. Atari's putting out yet another Plus system. And it looks like they're actually making this new division of Atari called Atari Plus. Yeah. Which now I'm curious what else there's going to be. But for now, we had the 2600 Plus, which I own. I love the 2600 Plus. It actually got a lot of attention and a lot of talk when I had it at the Retro Gaming Expo that we did a couple weeks ago for the High Score Challenge. And by the way, Robert, if you're listening to the show with your Yahoo email, please contact us. You won the contest, but we tried emailing you and the email bounced back. So we want to get in contact with you, Robert. Robert with a Yahoo account, please email us, email@theretrogamers.com, or check us out on social media, hit us up on DM, because we want to get that prize out to you. What
was his score?
So it was Pac-Man on 2600, and his score, actually I have it right here, whoops, was 4,102.
Is this hard to score in that one?
A heck of a score, because you're battling between just the game itself, as far as wanting to play it, and it has some sort of difficulty. We might have accidentally had it on a higher difficulty setting without realizing it, because so truth be told, again, I have the 2600 Plus. This is not the news I want to talk about, but I enjoy this. So we had it there, and with most, if not all, Atari games, like a lot of Atari games have like 8 different settings in the game. Some have like 50. So and I looked up the instructions for Atari 2600, and not counting 2-player modes, there's like 4 regular modes, and then there's a game A and a game B.
Yeah.
And so that's regular and difficult. But for some reason, game A is the difficult ones. You would think that'd be game B. So we had it on game A the whole time. Everyone played the exact same version. Game 1, game A. But it was definitely on a harder difficulty setting. Apparently, the definitive way to play Atari 2600 is game 6, game A. That's like the hardest version there is. So I haven't tried it yet. I got to try that. But in any event, Robert scored 4102. But again, we emailed him and the email bounced back, but we want to get a hold of him. So hopefully you're hearing this, you're listening to this. If I'm smart enough, I'll put something at the beginning of the podcast as well to give a shout out. But let's get back to the news. Atari's putting out a 7800 Plus gaming system.
I want to get it. Yeah.
Dude, everyone's interested in the set. Everyone scoffed at the 2600. Everyone's like, this is just another VCS. So clearly Larry's going to buy one. And I did.
I wanted to get 600 Plus. And I'm like, maybe I'll wait. So,
But what stopped you from the 2600 plus?
because I was like, wait a minute, why is there? Because it'll play 2,600 games and 7,800 games, but not 5,200 games. I'm like,
But that's also 5200 cartridges like that wide
yeah, no.
versus, um, so yeah, so this new 7800 looks like a 7800, obviously. But as far as it still plays 7800 games and 2600 games, so there's no difference there. I still haven't figured out yet if the compatibility library might be better on the 7800 plus. So Atari has always said with the 26 plus, not 100% of the library works. A ton of the library works.
Yeah.
But not 100%. And there's a list. Atari put out a list on their website showing what games work, what games failed, and games that were not tested.
Yeah.
I have one or two homebrews that work on the 2600.
And see, that's why I'd like to get one, is because the homebrews will work on it.
So, yeah, so they're saying the 7800 is saying that, like, it will play homebrew games, but it's still emulation, which in itself I don't care about. But I think the library is a better compatibility hit on the 7800. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Maybe they'll release some more specs on it, or what?
I hope so. But right now, what's cool about it is, again, it looks like a 7800. It hooks up HDMI. It's USB-C. One of the cool new features is the controllers are wireless.
Yes.
So you have your traditional Atari controller, wireless, and then it will come with the Atari 7800 controller. Now, I bought the wired one that works with 26.
How does that feel, too?
So I don't remember having one as a kid. I don't think I had a 7800 as a kid. But it feels very comfortable. Gee, I'm not used to this camera the way it says. It definitely holds comfortably. The buttons are right where they're supposed to be. It feels very responsive. I haven't actually properly used it yet, so hopefully one day. I only got like 3. You think TurboGrafx games are hard to find? I can't find any 7800 games.
Yeah, those are hard to find.
But what's cool is Atari is re-releasing old games, old 7800 games on new cartridges.
Yeah.
So not only that, but they were, from what I understand, the games that are being released on cart were, I don't want to say reworked, but were fine-tuned.
Yeah.
By a very famous homebrew person.
Well, the 7800 plus, you buy the console and it has a game in there.
A brand new game.
A brand new game, yeah. Brand new game.
Bentley Bear. I'm sorry, which one?
Bentley Bear.
Yes. It's a sequel to Crystal Castle.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is another game I despise, but that's for another time. I can't stand the game. I don't even like the arcade game. But this one's more kind of like almost like a platformer, almost kind of sort of.
Yeah.
And then the games that are being re-released on new cartridges, and they're only $30 each, which isn't that bad.
No.
Space Duel, Asteroid Deluxe, Berserk, Frenzy. You can get Bentley Bear's Crystal Quest on its own. Cavern of Mars, Bounty Bob Strikes Back, and then there's 3 compilation games that have multiple games on one cart. Epic's Game Collection.
Okay.
Which are the like California games, summer games, and winter games.
Yeah.
The M Network Collection. And the Real Sports Collection.
Oh, yeah. I heard the Real Sports Collection had an unreleased game on there.
Oh, does it? That I didn't realize. Let me look. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 7 games on it.
I think basketball didn't come out originally.
Oh, that's right. Basketball did not come out. So, yes, soccer, baseball, boxing, football, tennis, volleyball, basketball. And much like the game, the 2600 cart that came with the 2600 Plus, is you change it with the dip switches in the back.
Oh, okay.
That's how you change the games. And then, the cover will tell you which games or which dip switches.
Nice.
So, yeah, so am I going to buy this? Most likely.
Most likely.
But for now, until I get something definitive that there's a major difference in it, I love the way the 2600 looks. So I'll stick with the 2600 for now. But this thing looks sweet.
Yeah, it does. So, what So since they announced this, what do you think could possibly be next
in this Plus series? I mean, the only thing I can think of is if they do a 5200.
Well, yeah, that. So I see. I don't know because I guess it could be a 5200, a Lynx, or a Jaguar.
A Jaguar. Can you imagine if they did a Jaguar?
I always wanted a Jaguar.
Bro, me too. I'm dying for a Jaguar. I didn't want one then. I'm dying for one now.
I wanted it just for Aliens versus Predator.
Yes, right? Wow, you know what? I never thought of that. Now, if they do a Jaguar, so it's one thing to put out these decade-old game systems that are getting as old as we are. Yeah. But a Jaguar is much closer to where we are now than the Atari, 2600 is. Do you think that would nudge companies like not Sony, like Sega? Nintendo's in their own world. I don't think we'll ever see. I would love it if we saw an NES Plus. I'd take all my money right now.
So there is something interesting I saw the other day. Nintendo put out, and it was in Canada. I want to say either Quebec or something like that. They want to. It's for position, and it specifically said the Nintendo Entertainment System.
It was a job opening?
It was a job opening for like I heard it on another podcast. That's what the weird thing was. I was like, okay, I'm going to look into that later.
All right, well, we got to talk about you listening to the podcast and not just ours, so that's besides the point.
I have 8 hours in the day of reading.
I got an old wrestling podcast you can listen to.
But yeah, I was like, wait a minute, why are they wanting to hire somebody that knows something about the Nintendo Entertainment System?
Nintendo of Canada.
Yeah.
Senior Data and Insights Analysis. Come on, give us a description. I didn't even know Nintendo had a Canada division.
Yeah, neither did I. I was like, this is weird. Like, I don't know if they're trying to like do test.
I don't know.
Testing of something, maybe. So what I was thinking where this could possibly go is them possibly releasing another NES.
If Nintendo did an NES Plus, I think that would be the greatest thing of all time. I'm going to say it right now. It would be the greatest single thing of all time.
And the reason why I think that is because what just came out, the Nintendo World Championship, and that gold cartridge in there, you can open it up.
Have you played around with it yet?
Yeah, I've opened it up, and I'm like,
is there room to put a board in it?
Yeah, but the only thing is, I'm gonna have to Dremel the where the board comes out at the bottom.
Oh, that's right. I think when you did the unboxing, I think you showed that. Yeah,
solid right there. So you like Dremel that out, but you can put board in there. And
I mean, an NES Plus, but like that would be amazing. But for me, that dream is way down at the bottom of the list. In fact, there's the bottom of the list, and then there's the NES Plus.
Yeah,
I think we would see like a Genesis Plus. Or whatever they would call it. We'll say Plus for now because of Atari. We would see a Genesis Plus before we would see an Atari Plus. I mean, an NES Plus. But to your point, a Jaguar Plus would be very interesting. Because there's a lot of Jaguar homebrews through Atari ages, through them.
Yeah, there's a lot of homebrews for Jaguar, yeah.
Yeah. Would they dare do a Jaguar CD?
No.
That'd be weird. What was that game? Cyber... With the bald, with the bald chick.
That was on cart though, right?
Oh, that might have been. That was cart. I'm sorry, that was cart. I thought that was CD.
I think there is a few Jaguar CD games that didn't get released because it. But I do think, mark my words, I do think Sega is going to announce a Dreamcast Mini.
That's what people are talking about. Would you rather a Dreamcast or a Saturn Mini?
I wouldn't care because, well, okay, so.
Just give me anything.
Yeah, I would take either one because Dreamcast, I was there on 99.
We all were.
Getting one. And Saturn, I didn't know that there was that many games I wanted to play for it, so I kind of want to get Saturn and play some of those.
So I have. Hold on. Okay, I just wanted to check something. So I have a Saturn, and you want to talk about that's another system that's very difficult to purchase for. Not only trying to find good games, at least for me, good games. There's a lot of sports games I didn't realize came out on the Saturn, but also some pricey games. But a Dreamcast Mini, but that'd be a heavy. I feel like you would have to be almost all third-party games.
Yeah.
Short of like Sonic Adventure, Sonic 2,
Yeah.
Crazy Taxi, and
the only problem with Crazy Taxi would be the licensing for the music.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Power Stone, well, that was Capcom, right?
But Capcom's a little easy to work with. That's not too bad. But again, it was mostly sports.
Yeah. So. It did have my favorite Resident Evil game, Code Veronica.
It's Anthony's favorite, Code Veronica. Yeah, I never got into Code Veronica. I never got into Resident Evil.
Oh, I love Resident Evil. Into Resident Evil back then.
I did have Resident Evil 2 for the Nintendo 64.
Oh, that's the worst version.
Yeah. Well, look, I didn't get a PlayStation until college, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I got a PlayStation when SmackDown came out, the first SmackDown game.
See, I think with my group of friends, we were the complete opposite. I think when the PlayStation came out, we all just dropped the N64.
No, I mean I'm Nintendo through and through. I always will be.
Well, but I was like, oh man, it's PlayStation. I was like, I got Twisted Metal, Need for Speed.
I had Spider-Man on N64. I had Resident Evil on N64. I had the Tony Hawk games on N64. I can't wait for that analog 3D to come out so that I can play all those games again on the N64. I'm like, yeah, I can play them on CD quality, but who needs that? Give me an analog controller.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, the 7800 plus. When is this thing dropping? It's retailing for $130, just the base unit alone with the controller and the game. It will drop someday, winter of 24. No exact date.
Oh yeah.
But you can also get kind of like an all-in-one package here. Normally retails for $200, but it's on sale right now for $170, which will come with the system, the wireless 7800 controller, a wired 2600 controller, wired paddle controllers, and which kudos on their part, 2 extension cables for the controllers, and the game, the Crystal Castle sequel. So. Definitely check it all out at Atari.com. I think it's also available on Amazon.com. Pretty sure a friend of mine just pre-ordered it on Amazon.
They haven't released a new trackball controller yet, have they?
Trackball? No.
Oh, yeah. I was like, man, what?
I forgot about the trackball. That was a giant, unnecessarily huge controller.
It was as big as the console.
It was. Oh, man. All right. With that, I think we're going to start wrapping everything up here. Bro, I cannot thank you enough for being on the podcast this week.
Oh, thank you.
I've been waiting for this. We planned this actually a couple weeks ago, but just things kind of fell through. But I think the timing worked out well because we had some more things to chat about. But again, Justin, please, where can we find you?
Oh, you can find me anywhere. If it's social media, I'm probably there. ThunderDome Gaming Society, Facebook page, X, which is, the app formerly known as Twitter. I keep forgetting about Instagram. I have one. I just keep forgetting. And, TikTok. Yeah. I'm doing the TikToks.
Oh, boy. Are you dancing? Because I'm not going to follow you if you're dancing.
But I'm getting quite a bit of traction on there.
Good.
So, but yeah. YouTube as well. That's where all my reviews are. I got unboxings, reviews. I also have a series of videos I'm starting to do because I got a Steam Deck. So I'm doing demos on deck. I'm just playing demos, throwing up my 2 cents on them or whatever. And then I have the series of hot takes videos that
Yes.
I get back into, because I'm going to add a few more to that list.
Awesome. Yeah, I gotta get myself a Steam Deck. That's the one thing I don't have, which I'm starting to itch to get.
It's such a game changer, man.
I know. Especially because right now the new Funko video game, Funko Fusion, the demo is on Steam.
Oh, it is?
Not only that, the demo features Mega Man.
Might be my
Mega Man. Oh, speaking of Mega Man, let's talk about this, because you sent me the link about it the other day. The Amazon Prime show.
Oh yeah, Secret Level.
Yeah, the anthology that's coming out, which I didn't realize. This was new to me.
Yeah, Mega Man.
So let me see if I can pull this up. This is where the magic of editing is going to kick in.
So much good stuff. It all looks good too.
Secret Levels.
There's Mega Man.
Here we go. So this show, Secret Levels, it's an anthology show. 6 or 10, I don't know the exact number.
Yeah.
But each week or each episode is going to be a different game.
Yes.
And the games are Armored Core, Concord, Crossfire, which I was like, they're making a game out of Crossfire, but I'm thinking like the old one, like when we were kids.
It was a shooter that has been around for a while.
D&D, Exodus, Honor of Kings. Oh, okay. Then you're the ones that got me interested. Mega Man. New World and Turnum. The Outer Worlds 2. Pac-Man.
The Pac-Man one.
How are they going to do that?
What, did you see what he looked like?
I saw what Pac-Man looks like. Right now I'm looking at what I'm assuming is supposed to be what the ghosts are.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Or something. I don't know what this is. I'm on IGN right now. And then Ghosts of Tsushima. Ghosts of Tsushima. What?
I saw Kratos in
I was going to say, and God of War.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, and Sifu. Good Lord. So maybe there's more. Splunky.
Yeah, everybody kept saying, I saw Spelunky. I'm like, how did I miss that?
Unreal Tournament, Warhammer 40,000, and then the mystery game.
Oh, a mystery game?
What is this? One of the most intriguing scenes in the... I'm reading off IGN. One of the most intriguing... One of the most interesting scenes in the trailer is also one of the most mysterious. At one point, we see an image of a man being enveloped in flowing pink and blue energy, as if he's bonding with a machine or another life form. We're honestly we're not sure what game it's meant to represent, but we do know it definitely wants to see the episode.
Yeah, I remember. I have no idea what game that is.
And this show is coming out, I think, December.
They've been working on it for 3 years.
I didn't know that. Holy cow. I think it drops in December, and Keanu Reeves is in the... He's in one of them.
He's in one of them.
I forgot which one. But nevertheless, very cool. All right. I have a lot of editing to do, so let's start wrapping this up again. Justin, thank you again for being on the show.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, this was the first time, but it won't be the last time, so we'll definitely do this again down the road.
More shenanigans, huh?
Oh, forget about it. Absolutely. And also thank you for being a guinea pig for this, because I'm actually recording with Riverside.fm. Because I was cheap and I did not renew my Zoom account. So if anything sounds a little weird or a little funky, I apologize in advance. But I think we're good to go. All right, Justin, again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And folks, we will catch you everywhere next week on the Retro Gamers Podcast.